I was just reading that sutta about the Anatta Pendika, no, Pendikavada Sutta, and
You wanted to go over that, right?
yes, but as you said before, all the suttas in English are different from the from Pali. Sometimes, not everything, but sometimes these are. And I thought, oh, it sounds. I read it and it was good, but I thought, oh, what if I'm missing some key elements in this sutta? I
Hello, everyone.
Yes, so I thought it's an important sutta. Obviously, Anatta Pendika, became a diva after listening to that sutta. So I thought, I'm sure it's very important. And I wondered whether you could go over it in, I don't know, in Pali. Maybe there might be some key elements there that we should
You
know.
can do that. Oh, what is the number?
Sutta number, it just says Emet Middle Discourse 143.
Yeah, in which Anatta Pendika says that I first time hear this, and you said they don't teach it to laypersons. We discussed that sometime.
Yeah, we had.
Yeah. And he said, there shall be no conscious of mind dependent on consciousness element, and also on and things like this. Yeah.
MN 147, right?
143.
143. Or 143, yes. Yeah, he said there shall be no consciousness of mind dependent on consciousness element. And then also, when the next little paragraph, he says there'll be no consciousness of mind dependent on consciousness. And then he goes on to, not dependent on infinite space, and then neither perception or dimensions of neither perception, non-perception, and then grasping on basically everything.
Okay, so let's get deep into this. I don't know how much you all have experienced, so it would be good to see. Okay? So we'll go with some references, some examples in our usual life. The first things is that, what do you think as consciousness? We have gone through this many times, but it's okay. I think there are many videos on consciousness, but even now, when you have this doubt,
just my awareness, just the awareness that I have right now, like eye consciousness, that's consciousness. Like my sight, seeing you right now, that's part of my consciousness, or just aware.
Yeah, so you should understand this way.
Yes.
Yep. There is a nice sutta. So there is one nice sutta where it's called Kajjaniya Sutta. Okay. You don't have to write it. You just first understand. Let's understand that. I can share the sutta reference. Not an issue. Okay. In that, Buddha explains what is consciousness. So the consciousness is that which recognizes this is sweet and this is sour, this is bitter, this is astringent, and like that. And then we'll forget all about that. Okay, that's it. No, you go deep into it. If you see, if you put anything on the tongue, it knows. Okay? The knower is the consciousness. Got it? Anything that it can know. Doesn't matter whether it knows right thing or a wrong thing or something, it is consciousness. So now, what is a right consciousness or a proper consciousness, and what is an improper consciousness? That consciousness which has yoniso, meaning it can go to the root, is a proper consciousness. And that consciousness which takes itself to be real is an improper consciousness. So now if I see through my eye this room and the thought, which is mano vinyana, this mind consciousness comes, where I feel this is my room. I feel two things: I as a person and my room as a consequence of that. So what happened? It is my experience is my room instead of just a room. Just like I'm coming into Wellington, or I'm going into where Sachin lives, which is in Gujarat, called Anand, and Ariu stays in California. So and Shreyas staying in Bangalore. If I truly believe, meaning if there is a conscious experience of Wellington, if there is a conscious experience of May, there's conscious experience of Sachin in Anand, the conscious experience of Ariu in California, and a conscious experience of Shreyas in Bangalore, which means I'm having a conscious experience as Vilas. Got it? Means I know. The knower. So then what the knower does is to create two sides. One, the object to be experienced, and the experience itself. So now we know there is an experience and there's an experiencer. If you ask me who is experiencing it, it is the eye or the ear or nose or tongue or the body or the mind. That's the one which is experiencing it. And totality of that experience, I call it as my experience. That's a total. That is sum total of all the six senses. If I were to add,
Yeah.
that is the conscious experience. That means now I am conscious about the rupa, and conscious about the vedana, that's the feeling, and the conscious about the perception, the conscious about the preparation, which is sankhara, and conscious about the conscious itself. I mean, this might look weird. I mean, what is conscious about conscious?
Sorry. Yes. Okay. No. You keep going. You keep going. No.
Conscious about conscious is that I am conscious of being conscious of that object. See, when I say I am not Vilas, I am only seeing one-sided. But the mirror is two-sided.
Being aware of being aware. That's
Yeah, being aware of being aware. That is, I am observing myself. Tell me one thing. Are you seeing me on this video? First question. Are you seeing yourself in the video? Second question. Are you not taking you there in the video? And if the answer is yes, that is consciousness over conscious. That means it becomes conscious of the conscious experience. See, if I were to ask Ariu, do you love Luke? Instantaneously, he will answer yes, without even thinking. If he reflects upon what is love, now he doesn't get an answer. He has to search in Google, and you get 100 different results of love, because his love is not defined there, or he has to modify his love over there. Got it? Now when he accepts to that, this is love, because it's written there, this is love, you become conscious of that and you taken together. This is the phassa, the contact.
Sorry. Did you say love or love? Sorry.
Love, love.
I really love her. Yeah.
When I say someone I love you, what really it
Right.
means? I mean, what really it would mean? Okay. So if I were to ask you, do you love your son? And then, or if I ask you, May, do you love your children? And you would instantaneously say yes. Can you define love? Now you don't have an answer because you're not experiencing it. You can only explain something where you can experience it. And for that, you require a vijnana over the vijnana. That means a consciousness over the conscious. That means you should have an experience or an experiencer. So what he's saying here is, don't grasp it. Don't take it. I shall not grasp the I, and there shall be no conscious of mind dependent on the I. That is how I shall train. Meaning, if I see May for some reason, and I feel that is really the May for the valid reason, and I feel that I need to be in Wellington for the same reason, now what happens? Will I come to New Zealand at this point in time as we speak? No. Am I not consciously experiencing New Zealand at this point in time? Yes. How? And that is how the magician consciousness is. You consciously experience whatever you bring it in that.
That's in your thought. Like,
Pardon?
that's in your thought. Like,
Yeah,
well,
that's in your
mind,
thought.
yeah.
Yes. So how will I get Wellington? You could ask me, how will I experience Wellington? So now, earlier days, people had to travel. Now we can virtually travel. So what I do is I will go to YouTube and search for 4K videos Wellington. And I keep on looking at Wellington and every street and all that. And after some time, I start to believe I am in Wellington. To an extent that the dreams are also Wellington and everything is Wellington. And then you ask me, Vilas, can you come over to Wellington? I would be more than happy to come. What was the difference between that experience and I going personally there is that experience is only experienced by the mano vijnana in the mind. And this one, when I come to Wellington, there's a physical, that is Chakku, Sota, Ghana, Jivha, Kaya. All the five are getting what? Experience. Right? It's the experience. Who's the experiencer? The vijnana. Eyes cannot experience by itself. One second, Harry. Eyes cannot experience by itself. Nose cannot experience by itself. Tongue cannot experience by itself. It requires vijnana. Chakuncha, paticca, rupe. If these two coming together, then the vijnana comes, right? If we remove one of them, then there's no vijnana. There's no conscious experience. So you need to understand that there is an experiencer, that is I as an experiencer, and the objects which are getting experienced in the six senses. So it's like a double acting. On one side I stand here, and on the other side I'm feeling, I'm experiencing it. Right. Yes, I think Sachin, hold on. This guy, Aryu had been asking. So let me finish off with him. Hold your question.
Yeah, I just
It's not a question. I was just reiterating what you said. Like we have subject and object.
Correct.
So the consciousness means conscious of something. Right? So the consciousness of object, it is this Sota Vijnana, Ghana Vijnana, etc. And consciousness of self.
Yes.
So these two are consciousness. Self-consciousness and object consciousness.
Yes.
So these two are being taught in this sutta.
Yes.
It's not about the pure awareness, which is total object-subject-less awareness.
Yes. So it's like I will give you another example before I take your question. You seem I wanted to add to what he said. You go to a lake, or forget the lake, you even in your home, you put a bucket of water, don't shake the water, and you'll see your reflection in the water. Yes or no? Aren't you existing at both the places? In the water and also without the water? That is consciousness over consciousness. You got the point? Or why difficult of that? Stand in front of the mirror or here, this camera. Am I not feeling I'm here? Yes or no?
Yeah,
Am I
subject says,
there?
subject says object is me.
Objective. No. Am I not feeling I'm there also? Why? Because whatever action is being done here is exactly replicated there. If I'm raising my hand like this, it comes there. So it gives me a perfect experience. Now, who is experiencer and who is experienced? Just look at it. On the screen is experienced. On the screen, not here. On the screen. But that is experienced here. Yes, Sir. Now it's all yours. Okay, go ahead.
No. I have a different question now here, having heard this discussion. So, let's say I become aware of my scene. I know that I'm experiencing something on the screen. So, when I become aware of this experiencer, is it the I consciousness who's become aware of itself, or is the mind consciousness that's become aware of itself?
Let's not take that. You will get thoroughly confused. Leave it.
Okay, fine.
Just be aware. Just be aware that you are watching it. If you really do it, these two will fall down and you will come to know what it is. So let's not.
Yeah, in the same terminology, I can say, are you the object is being observed by are you the subject, and both are consciousness. The chitta cannot discriminate object and subject. It is pure awareness. The moment you can say, I see, that means the subject consciousness, Ayu is seeing the object consciousness. The Chakku Vijnana only can see object. Chakku Vijnana cannot see the subject.
Okay, so now to add to what he said,
May has a question.
you have a question.
Maybe.
Yeah, May has a question.
May.
Yeah, let me finish.
Everyone has a question.
Everyone has a question. So hold on. The subject object. Just add IVE in front of it. It's a subjective experience for an objective objective way of seeing it. Right? So you have objectified something. Means you have objectified May. Or forget May. I'll take Vilas. Best thing. Vilas is a subject or an object? Tell me that. Object.
Okay.
Object. Who is a subject?
I, the subject.
Yes. The consciousness is the subject. The experience, what is happening, is the object. Right? So can the consciousness hold on to Vilas in its entire life?
No.
No.
Anicca.
Why? Because it's like this virtual. If I blast the screen, Vilas will not come.
Yeah, but in this moment you can grasp it. As in this sutta it is written.
Yes.
The consciousness holds the consciousness.
Yes. Consciousness holds the consciousness. Now you can grasp it. You can hold it. As though it is real. See, I stand in front of the mirror. I see that, oh, I am getting white hairs. Shit. If it comes like this, then I will look old. So why don't I paint it? What did I see? First thing. I am calling this as hairs. As though there's an ownership of the hair. So who has grasped whom? The consciousness has grasped this thing called as hair. in its conscious experience, meaning as an experiencer, the conscious experience is this hair was there from the time of the birth, because now it has grown white, right? Earlier it was black. And it also had an concept that if this becomes more and more black, you're going towards death. That means time will come for you to depart from this body. So the idea is not to depart. So what to do? What to be done? You can't reverse this. But what I'm going to do is go to the market, take some dye and paint it. Right? Now one foolish person asked me, Vilas, you look so young. It's not that I'm desperate to listen to him that I look young. It's because I don't want to die. Simple as that. The more young means what? That means your death is at old age. So the more I look young, I should feel happy because that I, experiencer, when it is experiencing this on the photo, on the video or whatever it is, or in the mirror, doesn't want to look old. Yes, it is getting recorded. Is getting recorded. Sorry, is becoming old. Why? Why he should become old? Because he dies. It's a concept. So consciousness has kept two concepts, birth and death. That is what the Paticca Samutpada is. Now you are taking one, leaving the other. I don't want death. I want only this one. But birth comes with old age and death. No, I don't want to age. Pause. Whether you want to age or not want to age, you are going to age. Sorry, please don't scare me. Because the consciousness thinks that object which it is seeing or hearing or tasting and touching and smelling and all that is I, the real I. You got it? Yes, May, go ahead.
So in this example, so it might be exactly the same that Arya asked. I might be rewording it potentially. So when you're looking in the mirror, so let's say Vilas is looking in the mirror, maybe I'm looking in the mirror, and when I look in the mirror, that's obviously Chakku and Vijnana, so the I consciousness, and then but then there's the other consciousness on top of that. Is that what you're saying? That is saying that's me.
Not like that.
No.
It's the same. It's a one conscious experience as experiencer on one side and the experienced on the other side, and then only you get this. It's called as a mirage effect, meaning there is one sutta where Buddha asks, there are 6 monks who give different version of it. So what's the difference here? He says, eye and sight. Do they meet by themselves? That means, will the eye go near the sight and say, hey, you know what, I want to see this sight? Have you seen eye walking? E-Y-E, walking? No. Have you heard ear going somewhere? Just see this. You are occupied in something, you will not even hear anything. If the mind is occupied somewhere, if the consciousness is occupied somewhere, you will not hear. Yes.
Sorry. So if I just change this to maybe, let's say when I'm eating. So let's say I'm eating something sweet. So my tongue is it's the tongue consciousness. Is it
tongue consciousness
getting the sweetness, obviously.
Right.
So when you're kind of meditating when you're eating, saying this is sweet or whatever, that's what I'm chanting.
No, that's not the way to be done. You are creating objects. The more objects you create, the more experiences you will have. It's not like a parroting that, oh, I am eating sweet, I am eating hot thing, I'm eating
Spicy.
pungent thing, I'm eating spicy thing, or whatever it is. That's not the way it is.
So what about
She is asking, she is giving example so that she can ask questions.
Ah,
She
okay.
is not saying practice.
Okay.
okay, so let's say if I was saying that's sweet, that's the same consciousness. Well, it's not the same.
Forget
But
the
you know when you
same
say
or a different. No,
experiencer,
no,
No.
May forget about at this time. Don't confuse yourself whether it's the same consciousness or a different
Okay.
consciousness or a combination of two consciousness, like that. Leave it.
You are just
Okay.
you are just welcome here because we have been debating this from many
May, I'll
videos.
tell you one thing. Very simple.
We debate it every time.
Let's keep it very
Okay.
simple. Take
Okay.
first called as conscious. There is conscious, right? That Sutta also talks about it. It doesn't say this consciousness and that consciousness, that other consciousness. There is a consciousness, right? Yes, agree, no? So what is consciousness? Is it knows. Knowing is conscious. It knows. So how does it know? So this question is answered in that Kajjaniya Sutta, and it says that it is knows, it is sweet, it is salty, it is astringent, and blah blah. Right? That you have to take it for investigation and put it in the five senses first before you go to the mind sense. Put it in the five senses. If you see an object, are you teaching the eye see it? No. Are you teaching the ear now you hear?
No, just doesn't. Yeah.
Or are you now teaching the eye to hear and ear to see? Is it possible?
No.
No. Why? Because they know. I mean, who is they? The senses know its respective object. You are not cross training them. Hey, from today, I'll tell you one thing. In future, eyes are going to eat on Monday, ears are going to eat on Tuesday, nose is going to eat on Wednesday, body is going to eat on Thursday, right? Mind is going to eat on Friday, and the tongue will only eat on Saturday. Try this. It will never work. Forget that. Try this. I will put food in the eyes. Right? And I'll put sight in the mouth. You can try this. It works? No. Because the what? The senses knows the sense object. How does it know the sense? Wait. How does it know the sense object? It's because of vijnana, consciousness. Because the knower is the consciousness. It's not neither the eye nor the object. So if the consciousness were not to get established in the eye or were not to get established in the sight, there cannot be a conscious experience. Got the point? If whomever I say I, E-Y-E, no, I, as I, do not refrain, or rather refrain from experiencing may by my awareness, yoniso manasikara, then may will never be experienced. You got the point? This is what you need to know. So the ayoniso and yoniso is that the consciousness has already taken the object and it is going on the wrong side because that is dukkha, because it cannot possess it. Now you drop it. You means that consciousness itself drops this object which it is holding on to, upadana, drops it. When it drops it, it finds, oh, it was never there in the first place. Yes.
So when you said to not grasp it, let's say you were saying, looking at May and then not to, let's say, grasp May. Then when you say drop it, then let's say you see a picture, my screen, and you think that's not even a person, or you still see that's a person but it's not May, or are you saying that's a dhatu and a bunch of dhatu made into that shape, or what are you supposed to, when you drop it, what do you think?
Now you have to make the mind, the chitta is the mind, established in one or the other thing. That means if you want to take, you can take dhatu. If you want to take the sense doors, you can take the sense doors. If you want to take body contemplation, you can do body contemplation. Whichever you take, you have to stay on that. Let's take dhatu for example. Dhatu doesn't mean you just keep on reciting, this is Patavi, this is Patavi, this is Patavi, this is Apo, this is Apo. That is not the one.
That's what I do. This is Apo, this is Patavi.
Yes.
No.
That is not how it is. That's not how
What
it
are you
is.
doing?
Now I will tell you, if I were to do this dhatu contemplation, how I would do it. Number one is to see the dukkha, suffering. How do I see the dukkha? Can I possess this object which is sitting in front of me? Meaning, all the five of us are in the monitor. Isn't it not giving us the experience of five of us being there, or is it showing you all the five are different? First you have to look at that. Are you experiencing five of us being there? And right now we are experiencing five of us being there. Isn't that an error of judgment? Right? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, in other way, I can explain like this, not how to, but what if an ideal situation, rather than saying this is Apo, ideally the normal Puthujana, when he sees something, object, let's say this is water bottle, it is Patvi Dhatu. It is Patvi Dhatu, but before I concluded this is water bottle, if I delay the perception, just see, let's say it took some milliseconds to define, let's say it took 3 milliseconds to define this is water bottle. If I delay this perception, I become lazy in even perceiving what is this. I don't care what is this. I don't care, not interested. How did I develop this not interest is different thing. But if I develop so much laziness that even before I can perceive this is water bottle, I don't care what is this. If I can stop in between 2 milliseconds, even before coming in to perceive water bottle, I have not perceived it as a water bottle. So it will stay as just Patvi. It is so fast from Patvi it becomes water bottle. If you can delay this perception, you stay this is Patvi only. But when you say this is Patvi, you already perceived it as a water bottle and then you are superimposing it. No, this is Patvi. So you are perceiving as water bottle and then superimposing another perception called it is Patvi.
Correct. So now there are two perceptions. One perception of what you think it is, another perception to remove what you think what it is. So now I'll take this as an example. This person sitting there is Shreyas. I know him, he is Shreyas. There's no doubt in my mind. That means the consciousness has already grasped it as Shreyas. On his body, nowhere it is written he is Shreyas. If I cut his body parts piece by piece, I can go to jail, or I can be imprisoned and I might be hanged for killing. But then If I killed him not to kill him, I wanted to check where is Shreyas, and in the process, I cut out into so many parts. Will I find Shreyas? And in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, this is the example, exact example what Buddha asked. If a cow is cut into 4 parts, will you ever experience cow? Yeah, Sachin, no issues. So, are you experiencing cow? When that animal was fully there, you were experiencing cow rather than the flesh, rather than the meat. Now, when you cut it into 4 parts, you will not experience cow anymore. Why? The grasping of cow was in the consciousness. It was not in the Pathavi. It was not in the Apo. It's not in the Tejo. It's not in the Vayu. So when he cut it into 4 parts, what the consciousness now did, instead of cow, it grasped Pathavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu.
Because the silent feature of cow is gone.
Yes. So now what happens? It still has grasped. What has it grasped? Pathavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu.
Or it has got meat.
Yes, or whatever. It has grasped something. Okay, that's the reason Buddha says, Vinyanam Anidasanam. It is supposed to not grasp anything. Anidasana, unmanifestative or undirected. But unfortunately, okay, due to perversion of the conscious, it grasps as what? Pathavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, or long and short and fat and lean and like that. Who is grasping it? The consciousness, not you. There's no you to do anything there. The consciousness itself grasps itself as an experiencer on one side and experienced on the other side. Now, the objective of the consciousness is letting go of both. Now there is relief. Why? It is unnecessarily holding it. It's like I'm saying, Vilas, I want to meet you. I'm telling you. I want to meet you. Because I'm in love with this Vilas sitting here on the screen. Yes.
So if I'm, let's say, looking at a tree saying, but wait, that's already grasping and that's the problem.
You already have grasped tree. Now you are putting some board on that. This is Pathavi. No.
Patwin Manyati as per MN1.
Yeah.
Patwin Patvitha Manyati. It is believing Patwin.
See, what is Manyana? That's a good word. Pali words are very beautiful. Manyana. Mana means mind. Manyana means to take something in the mind. Okay. It is you consider. Let's consider x equal to 100. There is no 100 in the x. So I will first say, let me put 100 in x. It's already, we have put 100 there. Now from that x, I remove 40. How much will I be there in x? So I will say x is equal to 100. 40 is removed. So 100 minus 40. So 60 remains. Boss, there was no 100 in the first place because you considered let x be 100. In the same way, may, let this body be called as may. First you put that, right? And then you say, this body should not die because may will die. So you understand this problem. First, after the child was born, like your children, you named them. That's all you did. You just named them. They are neither yours nor anybody else. You first name them. Let I name them as this, and then you say they are my children. So you are double grasping it. One, you are grasping them as children already. Now if you keep on looking at them and say they are only Pathavi, they are only Apo, they are no, it's not going to change anything because you already made them as Manyana. You already consider them as your children. Haven't you considered them as your children? Yes, go ahead.
But then, don't you have to reach because of, let's say, this perversion of, and that because that's how you see it? Shouldn't you then retrain and teach your mind that it's not? So then you have to look at them and contemplate. These are Patawi. So you have to
No,
start from
More of
no,
letting
no.
it go than retraining.
Yeah, you have to let it go. Like he said, you have to let it go. Let go of this false thing. Like x is equal to 100. We have done mathematics in our life. Have any one of us, whether it is quadratic equation or some other equation or a trigonometry or whatever it is, have you experienced that? Can you confidently say, yes, I have experienced it?
So you're saying what I'm doing is my daughter is Patawi. That's what I'm trying to do.
No, forget Patavi. It is too far away. Not about your daughter. First, let's come to this x. Let's say x has 100. X is $100. Right? Let's keep in a variable called as x, $100. Have you seen a variable in your life as x? No. Have you seen $100? You would say, yes, I have seen. Somebody were to ask, how did you see it? Then you say, I took a plant or a tree, cut it, made it into paper. On that, I printed something called as 100. And I made a symbol called dollar. Now you would say, oh, that is New Zealand dollar, but it's not American dollar. You didn't tell me that. What should I tell you? Then I have to put NZ dollar 100, US dollar 100. It's again a symbol. The New Zealand dollar, will you find it? Will you ever find it? You would say, yes, I find it. Where? On the paper. On the paper. If you're using the $100 note and it's in the paper, and what it says, I solemnly, whatever, it says some stupid thing as per the countries. It's a promissory note. That means I promise to pay this person $100 in case it is asked by that person. But still it doesn't answer it is 100 New Zealand dollars. It doesn't say it is 100 US dollars. For some reason, the notes were old. New Zealand government comes and say that we will demonetize it. No longer this $100 note of this thing is available. You have thousands of them. What will you do? You have to burn it because it's no longer, you can use it. Actually, it was paper to begin with. You made it dollars. Now they said it's no longer a dollar. So now what do you do with those paper? You can give it to your daughter to play. Okay, so that is exactly what she's going to do with that. She will do bonfire, or she'll just play. If there is some business game or something, she'll start to play with that. That's a max she can do, right? So it's not about looking at your daughter and calling her this Patavi. No, you have to come to the root of it. The root of it is that you have named something as something just for convenience, and now you're really believing that it is true. Just like I first named this is $100 and then I fall in love with that $100 to an extent that I don't want to lose the $100 now. See, I now come to US and Aryu gives me that $100. Okay, he says, Vilas, this is for you. I fall in love with that $100. Now you know what's going to happen? Even if I go to the washroom, I'll first check whether I have $100 or not. It's there. Keep it. Because it's very precious. Valuable. Yes, go ahead.
So what if you see them? Because sometimes I say, okay, well, this is just another.
No, it's not about seeing them. It's about understanding, or rather getting the knowledge. It's not what you see. The
Sorry, no, what the knowledge is when that person, if you, maybe not the right word saying, or experience that person as another being that just came to be. Yeah, that's a correct way of saying it. You know,
Yes.
that
So
is not
what
your
is the
daughter
first
is
step?
when you were, yes,
That-
your daughter is wrong, but that being is just a being that was born out of their karma, whatever. It just so happened that you are the guardian.
Yes, that's the first step. Then the second step is to understand what is a satta, being. Is there really thing called as a being? And the third thing is to look at, it's a gandhabba, which we have already covered it. You might see that video. So that's the
Yeah.
third part. And then you will see it's only nama and rupa, name and form from the beginning. If it was a gandhabba, also name and form. Then if you call it as a being, is also name and form. And now you set a relationship, is also name and form, like that. So now you see whatever is called as I is nothing but name and form. Yes, Harry.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this $100 bill, right? I mean, imagine this $100 is on my table. Imagine my son comes and he's
Tears it
angry.
off.
He just tears it off. Immediately, I'm heated up. Like, how dare you, waste $100 and all that
Right,
stuff.
right.
But let's say 20 years later, it's demonetized, and it's the same thing. But he tears it, or anyone tears it, there's no feeling. Right?
Yes, there's no feeling because why? It's a good question. Why? Because there is no experiencer. There's nothing, there's no conscious to experience that. So you don't care now. All
But
along
the-
you were caring. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess previously the consciousness has grasped onto this paper with name on one side as $100 and the form on the other side as a paper, and then put them together as seen as $100 bill.
Correct.
So that's when it's tearing, you're feeling hurt because you keep the $100 close to your heart. You feel the closeness to that.
Right.
And now, once it's no longer named as $100, now the conscious drops it off, doesn't care. When the closeness is not there, now whatever happened to it, you don't feel hurt because you don't have that closeness anymore.
Right. That's correct. That's the right way of seeing. Yes. Yes, Meha, go ahead.
A lot of questions from me. So let's say you're looking at there's trees, but you're not seeing trees, and you're not supposed to even see Patawi. Are you just supposed to just not see everything, just walk past like they don't even exist? Is that what you're supposed to do? No.
No. You're thoroughly going wrong on the wrong side. See,
You're not supposed to see them as Patawi either, and then he said, let them go. Even Patawi says, don't grasp all the dhatus either. So let it go.
that write up what you shared, you are
Yes.
literally going behind pain.
Yeah. Correct.
You're literally going behind pain by looking at Patvi and Apo and Tejo and Vayu. It's not, you are labeling it again. It's not about labeling. You are removing the labels. So first and foremost, what you should look at it is, forget your children, forget anything. Forget yourself also. Now first take country like New Zealand. Try to find New Zealand in real terms. In fact, try to find it. You will find a land, but you will not find New Zealand. What is new in Zealand? You show me that. That means there should be old Zealand, and then something made them change there to make it New Zealand, right? That means the place where you're staying should be having two things now, old and new. And when you say old, what was old there to be called as new? I can say New Wellington and Old Wellington. Okay, what is old about old and what is new about that Wellington? If you see really, if you practice this, you will find you're just labeling it, or somebody has labeled it and you're relying on that label to be true. Don't right now do about Patavi and your children as Patavi and tree as Patavi. No, that's not going to solve this problem. In fact, it's going to complicate it much further. So what you need to do is just try to see what it is. Like New Zealand. Question: what is New Zealand? And then you'll immediately come to know it's a country. What is a country? Now you will find which has border. Now you ask, what is a border? At some point, you will not be able to get an answer. That means you have exhausted all your options and you feel a sigh of relief. Oh my God, everything is conceptualized. See, you see Google Earth, okay? You see what? Land masses and water. Isn't that Patavi? Isn't that Apo? What else is Patavi and Apo? You can't go to every nook and corner and say, hey, excuse me, are you Patavi? Are you Apo? Are you Patavi? Are you Apo? No, that is not the way. You see the globe, isn't it sufficient for you to say it is Patavi and Apo? Or do you want something as to be shown as Patavi and Apo? Now in this Patavi and Apo, you are calling that as a Atlantic Ocean and a Pacific Ocean and this ocean, Indian Ocean, all the concept, Antarctica, Arctic Circle, the New Zealand and Australia, then called by whatever countries. But if you were to see just the land, unless you make something of that shape and say, hey, you know what, this shape looks like New Zealand. And this shape is Australia. Why? Because you're going by the shape and calling it. But definitely if you were to search the entire coastal belt of that place, you will not get even every sand for that matter. And every water droplet, you will never find Australia at all. Yes.
Right. So, like, what about when Sachin said before, when he looked at his bottle and trying to tell himself instead of it's my bottle, going back, he said like a few seconds before, did he say that's Patui?
No, he actually went 10 steps ahead. So I'm going back to the first step.
All right, okay.
Forget Sachin. Okay? Forget him for time being, because he has experienced something. From that he's putting it. I'm going step by step approach. Forget your family. Don't do that. It will not work. Forget the place where you're staying. It might not work. Take generic object. Generic, very generic. Like New Zealand. Can you experience New Zealand? You ask yourself. Don't give me an answer instantaneously. Yeah, Vilas, I do or I don't. It's again a conscious experience. So you're bringing every now and then a experiencer and an experience. Experience. So it's not going to help you. So what you need to do is, you need to question, is there New Zealand for real? Like, is there a Burma for real? Means it's going to be there forever and forever. That means even with Earth were to blast into thousands and pieces, Burma is going to be there. Or New Zealand is going to be there. Let's say an asteroid comes and hits, and this Earth gets into completely powder. Still, New Zealand is there. Why take so much trouble? There are so many land masses which get submerged in water. And that's it. We call it as floods. That's simple. And forget all about it. Avalanche happens and that place is filled with snow. That whole village is gone. But what do we say? Avalanche. Yeah, it's fine. You call whatever you want. But what really has happened? The water mass has filled over as Patavi. That's all has happened. Every piece of snow is water. Or isn't it water? It is water. It looks like Patavi, earth. Because it could not stand there, what did happen? It fell down. Tomorrow that mountain also can fall down. Let's say there was a mountain near my home called as Mountain View, from where I was viewing, and that mountain became a view for me. Right from there, I'm watching the mountain. What if tomorrow the mountain itself is not there? So what am I viewing? Highway. So then I will change it as highway viewing, because there was no mountain now. Yes.
Correct. So if you just remove the name before, well, so like that avalanche, if you just stop calling it an avalanche, then you won't.
You call. It's a convention. So first and foremost, to practice this, you have to take those objects which you have named it or somebody has named it. Try to find out, is there a real thing there? A real means it shouldn't change. It shouldn't go. It stays forever and ever and ever and ever again. It is going to be there. Now you ask a question. If the solar system were to go off, because if you look at the Milky Way, if you look at Andromeda galaxy, Milky Way is dot. And in the entire Milky Way, Earth is a dot. Called as big blue dot or just a blue dot. It's a dot. If you can promise that in millions and trillions, whatever number of years, the Milky Way will remain as Milky Way, because you have called it Milky Way, but it has not come and told you, hey, I am Milky Way. Please understand, I am Milky Way. No, I have named it Milky Way, and I have named this as Virgo, I have named it as Taurus, I have named it as Capricorn, I have named it as whatever I wanted, because I am seeing a star and saying, it looks like a goat, so it should be this one. This looks like something, I will name it. It's my definition, right? So first take those things and see whether you find a real thing there. Right? Yes, go ahead.
I know you had a question. It's a really quick one. So that avalanche, let's say, okay, so you're Vilas, who's more enlightened than I am, who can look at the avalanche, and so what would you see? From your more enlightened experience, what do you see instead of an avalanche? Like, would you just see it and you still see it as the dhatus, or you don't even see it as the dhatus, or you're not even moved by it, or how would you experience it?
There is no experience of avalanche.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is no experiencer called as an avalanche. But I know it is called as avalanche. You understood? I know I am called Vilas. I know I am called Vilas. If somebody comes and asks me, are you Vilas? I'm going to say, it's not that I'm going to say, I am Patavi man, I'm Patavi, I am Apo, I am Tejo, I am Vayu. And I think I'm a 32 part of the body, and I'm a head, I'm body, hair, and all that. That looks really fabricated. All that I know is I am called Vilas. Tomorrow I might be called something else also. You got the point? How? Tomorrow I might be called as grandfather, because I am already a father. So will I not be called grandfather? Yes. Will I become grandfather? No. Just because somebody calls me grandfather, I am not going to become a grandfather, right? Just because somebody calls me a father, I can't become a father. Just like somebody calls me, I am a husband, I don't have to become a husband. But I know I am called by that because I have a role to play as a husband. Fine, fair. Because it is transactional. It is something to do with the world. Worldly convention, worldly norms. So if you ask me, will you experience as husband? No. Will you have any experiencer called as a husband? No. Then don't you feel you're a husband? Answer is no. But do you know you're a husband? And the answer is yes. Why? Because they told me I'm a husband. That's all. See, I was going on the road and somebody called, hey, listen, you're husband. I said, oh yeah, fine. No issues. That's it. Do I lose a husband? No. Because it's just a... See, I was going and somebody took a paper and put a word called husband and stuck me here. Husband. Your husband. Yeah, I'm husband. Yeah, perfect. It is sticking where? On my body. Is it sticking anywhere else? No, it's sticking on my body. When I throw the body, will the husband also die with that? Yes, absolutely true. Right?
Just stick it on your gandapa.
Yeah. Stick it wherever you want, but you will never become a husband. Why? It's a concept. Just like New Zealand. This is also a concept. So when I keep on saying watch the hole here or hole here and mouth here, you should know that there is an experience and an experience. So when you start with a neutral thing like nose, hole in the nose, you lose vilas, meaning I lose vilas because all that I see is the hole, and I lose the sensual experience of May because now I see the same hole there, and hence there is no experience as May. No matter how much I say to myself, Vilas, don't look at May, you will get attracted, she looks pretty. No, I should be seeing, she's already married. No, come on, she is a wife of someone. And in fact, she has 2 kids. Please don't see. But whenever I see, I can't stop seeing you. Why? Yes, you have raised a big hand. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know. So then you just basically you're just breaking people into little parts.
Yes.
That's the way.
Yes,
one of the ways.
You're breaking not the people, you're breaking the
In
concept into little parts.
Yes.
Yes, Aryu, go ahead.
No, previously when you were explaining, I was just reminded of this, Chinese Zen thing, saying when you start practicing, you see the mountain as mountain. As you keep on progressing, you see the mountain as not the mountain. But in the end, at the ultimate stage of your practice, you still see the mountain as the mountain. I guess it kind of goes to what we were talking about. The normal person sees this as a mountain, but as you work on it, you try to break down the concept. Maybe the person is practicing patavi, but I'm just kidding. But something like that, you're breaking down the concept, and you're trying not to see it as a mountain, but ultimately you see it, the mountain just the label, but not associating the nama and
Yeah,
rupa.
so the relief here, when you say nibbana, the relief here is that whatever you're calling, it doesn't affect you at all. Like when I'm going on the road and somebody said, hey, Vilas, it's so instantaneous. And tomorrow from Vilas, my name, like in Sri Lanka, they told me, why don't you call yourself Anagarika? Okay, I'm very happy, excited. Anagarika Vilas. So you tell me the difference between Vilas and Anagarika Vilas? I have no idea what it is. What changed? Then somebody calls me Bhante. There's so many people who call me Bhante. I say, yes, yeah, tell me, sir. And when they just say Bhante, they don't even call Vilas. They just say Bhante. And one guy told me that he wants to call me Ajan because it looks good to him. I said, call whatever you want. Now, what if somebody calls me scoundrel? Will I like it? I was okay with Anagarika, I was okay with Bhante, then I was okay with Ajan. Maybe somebody calls me Thero, somebody calls me Sayadaw or something like that. I'm very happy because those things gives me a pride. But somebody comes and says that, hey scoundrel, how are you doing today? Hey idiot, how are you?
Fish out of nowhere.
Now you see this fun. I'm enjoying that. Sensual names. Here, sensual abuses. Okay. Will somebody calling me an idiot make me an idiot? If yes, then somebody calling me Bhante should make me Bhante. But just because he's calling Bhante, I don't become Bhante. And just because he's calling idiot doesn't make me become an idiot, because they're just pasting the label with a glue. They're just sticking it, saying that, you are an idiot. I'm telling you, you're an idiot. And I say, how the hell are you calling me idiot? I'm telling you right now, you're an idiot. And again I say, how dare you call me idiot? And we both keep on fighting. You are an idiot. In fact, you are an idiot. Now, if somebody is watching, who is the idiot now? One idiot is saying to another idiot, they both are an idiot, right? So, who is an experiencer? Idiot. What is he experiencing? Idiot. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of have a funny example of how I was changing my label. So I basically, usually writing email, I said this, when you say I, you use the capital letter I. So some years ago when I was getting into spirituality, I somehow think, this I is too big. So I started using lowercase I. I thought that using lowercase I would make my ego smaller by some reason. So I started always using I. But these days, there's auto correction. So every time it change it back to this big I. So I have to remove the big I and write the small I. Because instead of grasping to the big I, I'm now grasping to the small I. And there's no difference in which I am grasping, but the ego is not reduced.
Exactly. So basically, let's end this for now. Otherwise, this is going to go for another few hours and it will be staying there. So what you need to practice, not Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo as another concept. What you need to practice is first look at the globe. See, can you find the country, whichever country that is, in real sense? Real. It should be real. Or are you experiencing the name only without that actual form, which is also created in the mind? If yes, you will get an aha moment. Because now you've seen it's only the consciousness creating this experience for you. Meaning, this experience for you means there's no you. It is itself experiencing the experience. Both are the same. There's no other consciousness. So don't get into, this is one consciousness, this is another consciousness. No. It's like I grasping that and calling it as Vilas. So now this is Vilas, and hence the video what is there is also Vilas. Got the point? So who is the experiencer? Here. What is he experiencing? Vilas there. Now the question should be asked is, can you cut this monitor and get Vilas? And the answer would be no. Can I cut that frame and take this May in my hand and keep it with me? Because if she goes away, I can't tolerate. Or I just cut this photo I have on the screen. Ariu. It's Ariu. My dear Ariu. Oh shit. I can't lose him. But after this meeting, he's gone.
And you're heartbroken.
And I'm heartbroken right now. So I'm going to message him. And you, please don't forget me. I'm like your father. You're like my son. And we both have a son and a father relationship. Please Please don't leave me. I'm telling you, it will be a tragedy. And he's going to leave one day, whichever day that is. Or I would have left him before he leaving me. Right? It need not be dying. His work is ended and he says, Vilas, I think I'm moving ahead with my life. You and your Dhamma, I don't understand what. Half of things you speak, I don't understand. Another half, I have questions. So I better don't ask you. You carry on with your thing. Okay? You have understood, right? You go. And that's it. But then I say, Aryu, no, don't do that. For your sake, I'm getting the visa. I want to meet you. He says, no, visa is visa. You only say there's no visa. Now you're saying only for your sake I'm doing visa. I'm confused now. You only said there are no countries. Now why are you coming to our country? Right? And you want me to sponsor. But you said there are no countries. You seem to be a very wise person. Now from this, I think you are not that wise person because you want to come to America. Right? So, and then I say, Aryu, please remember, while you were in Bangalore, you took me as father. Then it says, from today onwards, I am considering you no longer a father. Come on, go. Now I'm shocked. Why? That father is dead. That father dead. In the same way, that America is dead and I don't want it to die. I want it to exist. So first, for my practice, it's not Patavi Apo Tejo Vayu. I need to see in reality, does it exist like this, exactly like this. So I shouldn't take myself. I should take some countries, continent or whatever it is and see whether you really can find it. If you can find it, yes, worth it. If you can't find it, everything is same. Then you do the contemplation on Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu because that's exactly what it is. That is seeing things as they are, not as they are represented. Yes, sir, you good.
No, I was just, I have one comment, but I was just thinking New Zealand may be the harder one to practice. You can try this with a country that's inland. There's literally the border is completely artificial. Maybe even easier.
Whatever, you can take whichever country or whatever place.
New Zealand has a sharp edge even on the ocean. So
You can name whatever. You can name it whatever. Venezuela. Who knows what is Venezuela? And then West Indies. That means some Indian went there who was from the West and then he became West Indies. Then, or rather, they should be in East Indies because there's a West Indies means somebody should have gone to the East Indies.
North India.
And in fact, Indica, the name is coming from India because they all were in search of India. So wherever they went, they made it as India. And in America, there were some red people and they called them as Red Indians because they were in search of India. So the Columbus wanted to search for India. And he said, hey, India, you're red. And then he said, no, this is not India. You have come somewhere else. Come on. Oh, shucks. That means I did not find India. And they called them as Americans. Why? Because they were red. Right? It's a concept. It's red. What? Skin. Would you find a single red Indian there? A single. You wouldn't find. In the same way, you will not find a single Burmese. I have never met a Burmese in my life. In the same way, I have never met an Indian in my life. All I meet is a being who can call whatever he wants. Today I can call myself an American. Then you ask Aryu, he's an American.
Yeah.
Who says? His new passport says.
Got a new sticker.
Pardon?
I got a new sticker.
Exactly. So now if you were to ask him, how did you become American? He will say, I got enrolled into America. They call it a citizenship. Citizen of this country. Citizen. What it means? City, place. Citizen means one who resides in a place. And that's it. And who am I? As per Americans, I'm an alien. That means they don't know who the heck I am. Okay, it's a concept. Now I go and fight the Americans saying that, how dare you call me alien? And he says that, come on, listen to me. You are an alien means you're an alien, man. You're an alien. I say, you nerd, I'm telling you, I'm not an alien. And he says, excuse me, mind your language. You're calling me nerd. I'm not a nerd. You are an alien in this country. I didn't say to you. I said, you are an alien, man. In this place, you're an alien. But I'm not an alien. I'm an Indian. I care a damn whether you're what it is. For me, you're an alien. And I get red. That's exactly, you're actually a red Indian. Because you turned red and you're an Indian and became a red Indian. Right?
And you say you're the real red Indian.
Yes. Now I say, come on, don't insult me. He says, look, who is insulting whom? You are insulting me that I shouldn't call you an alien. In this country, anyone who comes who are not the citizen are called aliens. Okay? I say, yeah, red Indian is a highly offensive term. Yeah, I know that. So now if you put a concept and you get offensive or defensive because you start identifying with, when you identify, only two choices you have, either like it or dislike it. Now if you dislike it, the anger comes. If you like it, the raga, desire comes. Call me again and again, and call me again. Call me once, I'm an American. Call me just once. Just once. And he said, you're an alien. I'm telling you, you're an alien. Call me once, man. Just once. You're an American. Not in this life. But somehow I find someone who can get me visa to stay there, and I stay there for long. And then after a long time to come, I get my American dream. I become a citizen of America. Then I go to that person saying that, hey, you know what? No longer I'm an alien. If I'm smart enough, from day one I was not an alien. Forget about I was struggling so much to get passport. Says that's all what. Yes, Arif.
Previously, in the beginning, when you're talking, I had this thought, so I just want to share. I think you said the fear of death is in the subject, right? It's in the I, it's in the experiencer. But also because the experiencer is the consciousness double place the agent of the experiencer and experienced. So if you can remove what's experienced, the experiencer dies with it. Hence, there's no death and there's no fear of death.
Exactly. Exactly. So subject-object relationship both have to be removed. Don't just remove the subject and keep the object, and don't remove the object and keep the subject. Both should be removed. And when you remove that, the vijnana, consciousness is pure and bright. Now in that, nothing gets established. May got established in the consciousness as Vilas. Now you have two personalities, me and Vilas. Now neither there is May nor there is Vilas. Anyway, let's end for now and think it over. Already too late for you, and it's going to be night for you on Saturday night. And for him, it's a you see this fun. For him, it is Friday night. For you, it is Saturday night. You'll go crazy. You both can sit and fight now. He says, listen, Friday night. And you say, no, Saturday night. Here it is night. We call it as Saturday. There it is Friday, and we call it as Friday night. Till Saturday yet to come. And you say, you mad guy, I'm telling you. Here we are in Saturday night. Already it is 8 p.m. Come on, I don't understand what you're saying. It is 11 p.m. for me on Friday. No, Saturday. No, Friday. This is Saturday. Friday, Saturday. Actually, what it is night. It's only night, neither Friday nor Saturday. But are you experiencing Friday? Is yes. Aren't you experiencing Saturday? The answer is, can you tell me Friday and Saturday, they both exist for real? The answer is, you can name whatever you want. If you go to Burma, you will call Monday to Saturday, Sunday as something else in your own language. If he goes to China, he will call by his own language. If you come to India, we call by our own language. And it just happens instantaneously. Why? Because it's just a concept. Now you can create as many concepts as you. Okay, I don't know how much clarity I could give you, but it's not about Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. It's a pain. That's not the right way of doing. First, take something so gross in life and see whether you can find it for yourself. Really. Without unchanging. That means you should have a self which is unchanging. You should have an experience which is unchanging. You should have the subject object unchanging. If yes, and you will find that nothing of that is true. Subject also changes. Object also. So then you see, aha, I found it out. Then you can come to Dhatu. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, I saw from a Chinese blog this guy explaining how to practice, satipatthana overall, like seeing the body. Let's say I'm seeing the body. What's the right way versus the wrong way? Is that the wrong way is if I have this view of me and mine built into my, back of your mind, my mind. So it's like I'm watching. It's like two different ways of surveying a ground. You can walking around this ground as if you're the boss of this factory, right? So whatever you're seeing, you think, this is my building, this is my office, this is my. So that's one way of seeing it. The other way of seeing it is seeing everything as just, it's like nature, right? You're saying, this is this is that. So when you have this is mind built into your mind, then however you're watching the body, it's not going to work out because whatever you're seeing, you have this implicit mind, me and mine into it. But if you're seeing it's just, just a, bone or just this, then that I guess that assumption slowly gets dropped, right? So eventually you will see it as just, a bone rather than.
For that, before you come to the body contemplation, you do some, like I said, world or whatever it is, New Zealand or Australia or whatever. Try to first see, can you find it? If you can't find that, you will not find yourself in the body also. Then you have picked it. Okay. Good night. Good night. I'll just say good night. No good night Friday or good night Saturday. Just good night.
Okay, thank you.
And for us, it is sunny day.
Lunchtime.
Alien. You're alien.
I'm an alien. Exactly an alien. I don't know who is alien, whether you are alien or she's alien or am I alien or he's alien. We all are aliens. We really don't know what we are. Okay.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.